Welcome to Gospel Bytes.
Greetings and welcome to Gospel Bites, where we take a bite at the Gospel for the day. Today is Saturday, August 22nd. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. This is taken from Matthew chapter 23, verses 1 to 12. Jesus told the crowds and his disciples, "The scribes and the Pharisees have succeeded Moses as teachers. Therefore, do everything and observe everything they tell you. But do not follow their example. Their words are bold, but their deeds are few. They bind up heavy loads, hard to carry, to lay on other men's shoulders, while they themselves will not lift a finger to budge them. All their works are performed to be seen. They widen their phylacteries and wear huge tassels. They are fond of places of honor at banquets and the front seats in synagogues, of marks of respect in public, and of being called rabbi. As to you, avoid the title rabbi. One among you is your teacher, the rest are learners. Do not call anyone on earth your father. Only one is your father, the one in heaven. Avoid being called teachers. Only one is your teacher, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be the one who serves the rest. Whoever exalts himself shall be humbled, but whoever humbles himself shall be exalted." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, so Jesus today distinguishes between the Pharisees and the scribes, and he distinguished between what they teach and how these people live. So Jesus acknowledges the importance of authority, that these people have received authority from Moses, just as we respect the authority of our hierarchy, the Pope, the bishops, the priests. But yes, they do have received the authority. In other words, they they become our they are the guardians of the teachings of Christ, or in the case of the Pharisees, the teachings of Moses. But following the example is different. You cannot say, well, our priest told us not to drink, but I see him drinking, or our bishop told us not to gamble, but we see him at the casino, or the Pharisees said that we should be compassionate, and there I see them very rude. So there's a difference between the teaching and the practice. There is that discrepancy, and oftentimes each one of us have to struggle with that. We struggle with what we believe and how we live. And that's where the chaos happens, when our life does not correspond with our belief. So Jesus is saying, well, because they are people of authority, you listen to them, you follow, but not the example. No, that's a different story. You cannot judge the teaching by the way the bad teachers are living. And this is true for throughout history. We have bad popes, bad priests, and bad bishops, bad even preachers, even people whom we think are holy, they could still go bad. So if we put our faith on their works, on their examples, we will be disappointed. Now, he's saying that so you have to distinguish between the teaching and the life of the teacher. That's why nowadays we see there's a lot of confusion, even in the Catholic Church, when people are saying, how come this bishop allows this, allows these immoral practices? He's even condoning these, having different flags, or different allowing different theologies. and then we have them banning tradition or traditionalists. Where do we put where do we draw the line? Uh, I think that people who are in authority, uh, they will have to answer to God for what they do or what they did, and we have to answer to God for what we do. uh, I'm not a bishop, I'm not a pope, and uh, I can only follow the teachings of the church or the teachings of or the right teachings of these people in authority. So I leave it up to God to, and I trust God that um, He will correct or castigate, or they will be the ones who will answer to God for what they do. But in my position, in my status, you know, I will be judged according to how faithful I am in my state of life. You know, if I'm a catechist, if I'm a teacher, you know, then God will not judge me for what the bishop did because I don't have the authority to do what they're doing. They will have to answer to God for that. You know? And so we obey as much as we can. We obey according to the authority given to them, and sometimes they are unjust. Sometimes they are not perfect. So that's why we need to pray for them, and I think that's where faith comes in, to say that I I think what you're doing is wrong, but I trust in the Lord that He will not let this go on forever. He will be the one who will correct any wrong teaching or any wrong practice of these people. So pray for those people in authority so that they too may be able to live according to what they preach, and for ourselves that we may live according to what we believe. I'm Father Jerry Sembrano for another edition of Gospel Bites. God bless you. Have a nice day.